Okay, chat, we've got some Jund midrange here. So we've got like 4 of the good interactive cards. We got 4 Bloodchief, 4 Thoughtseize, 4 Bonecrusher Giant, and then we've got kind of a smattering of other answers and things. So we do have 3 Valki, which I think is a great inclusion for some card advantage. We've got 3 Scavenging Ooze as well, but then we've got like Rick, Smatty, Reveler, Kroxa, some Chevill, Klothys, Realm Eater, etc. Like just a smattering of different threats that generate different card advantage in different ways. I like a couple of Inksca Chariot here at the top end too. It seems very reasonable. Thanks for the biddies, Beansy. I'll get blue red added to the queue just for you. I appreciate the support. I don't know if we will get to it today, but it'll be in there. Thank you. All right, so yeah, one of the other kind of cute things this deck is doing, we've got the Gnottvold Slumbermound in the board here. We don't quite have creature lands in the mana base in this format, but we do have the Slumbermound here that can turn our land into a creature, so it's like roundabouts. This deck would kill for a Raging Ravine, though. Lands total 26. One card I was wondering on. Oh, I was gonna say, I wonder if Shatterskull Smashing is good for this deck. We actually can't play that card with Wellspring, huh? All right, let's dive on into some games and see how this goes. Is this the fair deck the prophecies foretold of that could be competitive in Historic? Sure. Threat, Dubs removal, all of our colors of mana. What more could you want out of your Jund life, chat? What a lovely draw. This hand's like a Raging Ravine away from being a modern deck from a decade ago, huh? Alright, so this murders something that costs 3 or less. Looks like we're playing against Feather here. The gold whale, Beansy. What's this inscription? This is a Zendikar set? Yeah, Zendikar. I'll go ahead and murder this one here. Ooh, got him. They were playing smart and wanted to wait to play that out. So this can kill something, discard 2 cards from the opponent, or put Scavenging Ooze back into play, which is sweet. Murder She Wrote. Right, opponent can definitely top deck out of this, but we're firmly ahead at the moment. It's a pretty good start to top decking out of it. gonna go ahead and crank this up to a 5/5. Am I? I guess cranking it up to 5/5 doesn't actually do anything, right? Because they get to double... They get to double whatever it's called. All right, yeah, I'm gonna attack for 4 here, and then I'm gonna play second Scavenging Ooze, I think. Oh no! I can't. My Rix Maddie doesn't work because of Tecatli on our guard. It's just rude. Shuts off, enters play effects. Where's a Crackso when you need one, huh? Alright, if these are bricks, they're dead. Just another blocker, sure. They have to double chump here, right? I think I'd rather just gain some life here, just in case they have a crazy series of draws. You know? I don't actually know how I want to board here. A Braid's okay, I guess. It just, like, has a small window to kill stuff. I guess killing Dreadhorde Arcanist is pretty important. You know what makes me kind of sad looking at our deck list, chat? There's no room for Thrag Tusk in our deck list. Thank you for the poke on the stream title. Nah, Cage isn't very good against Arcanes. I'd rather just kill their things. I'd rather just have the spot removal. If they leave Tecatli on our guard and Rix Maddie's pretty bad. Why are so many of our threats 1s and 2s? Because that was the deck list I copied. I mean, the opponent's deck actually isn't particularly fast, Hidden Flame. Like, I know that they're, like, an aggro deck, but, like, in my experience, their linear draws are not that quick. So, our mana is a touch awkward here because this doesn't bring these into play untapped, but I can, like, Marsh, Thoughtseize, tapped land Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize is very good against decks like these Feather decks where they frequently have that wrong half problem. Like, because their deck needs creatures and it needs, like, spells to go with those creatures, so being able to take one of those two parts tends to be very strong. A very, very lucky draw. Thoughtseize might actually be the most tilting card in Magic, not only for the person getting Thoughtseize, but also for the person doing the Thoughtseizing. It's just like a whale shoot. Oh, magic. Yeah, we're just dead, right? Our deck actually has 0 ways in the 75 to take a Donto Vanguard off the table, which is, like, again, pretty typical interactive deck problem. Like, we've built our deck, we have a wide variety of answers, and then we queue into a threat that, like, we don't have an answer to, and you just die. Hearthstone just got a card that says at the start of the game, if this card is in both players' decks, turns are 15 seconds. That's awesome. That's phenomenal. That's the game design Magic the Gathering desperately needs. Whoever created that card should be hired at Wizards. They need to poach the designer of that one. So they can kill Valki and hold up removal spell this turn, or protection spell. If they don't play second Soul Scar Mage out, I probably just Mind Rot them, right? Hey, Super KSU. I almost missed that one a couple minutes ago. We were getting beat by Donto Vanguard. Thanks for the 10 months to Prime. Are there good exile effects for 3 CMC or less? Nah, but there's things that get minus. Like, again, like, this always happens whenever I play an interactive deck, is like the peanut gallery in Twitch chat pipes up when we die to a card like a Donto Vanguard, and suddenly we need to put a bunch of cards into my interactive deck that beat a Donto Vanguard. And then, like, next match, we'll lose to something else that we don't have an answer to, and then, oh no, all of a sudden we gotta go back to the drawing board again and change our answer lineup again. And it's like the solution isn't like change your deck and like readjust every time you run into something you can't answer. The solution is just like hope your stuff lines up well if you're gonna play an interactive deck. It's the inherent risk of playing a deck that's not linear in a format like this. Hey, Loco says, thanks for the brand new Prime support. There's a ton of great people you can ship that to every single month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending it this way this month. Alright, I think I'm just going to go ahead and take 2 cards out of their hand. And, like, you could maybe make the argument that, like, maybe, like, Grasp of Darkness is something we could play. Like, maybe that's an effect that's worthwhile. It's, like, an answer that's, like, kind of flexible. Alright, so we get to eliminate you, and we get to draw this, and then next turn I get to go Slumbermound 5/5, and then if we draw another land, this can make a 4/4. Sepia, thanks for the follow, good morning. Do they just God's Willing for a Scry and a damage? Deal Larino. Destroys a land too? Holy crap. Oh gosh. I didn't realize this. I just thought we were getting a 4/4. This destroys a land? What? What? That's so great. That's sick. This is Twitch chat's favorite land. It destroys lands and it's a troll. It's just everything Twitch chat has ever wanted out of a Magic card. Ooh, that's scary. Man, I'm really glad we killed their land, huh? Jay Wall, thank you for the 18 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. For keeping me around. Yeah, I'm into the Slumberwald chat. Kill a land, get a 4/4. Ooh, I'm getting all tingly. I could see someone in chat commented that Magma Spray could be Disfigure. I don't hate that. Like, what are we exiling? Like, a lot of the decks that you want to exile things against play infinite sacrifice effects anyways, right? And Disfigure is borderless. Easy call, chat. I've got Scavenging Ooze and Clothis for Graveyard Hate 2 and Grafdigger's Cage. The cancel button's lie, chat. Pay no attention to the cancel button. Let's add a command for the Twitch audio bug that's come up a lot. So if the audio gets staticky on my channel or any others on Twitch for you, there's some type of encoding issue on Twitch's end. Refreshing your browser page should resolve it. So there's unfortunately not anything I can do to control that or fix it for you. Started happening somewhat recently. It's very annoying. Chow time. Welcome to the channel. Main deck Grafdigger's Cage. Yep. Bala. Has played all creature lands so far. They've played 2 of these. That means I'm not playing around a 3rd, I don't think. I guess I could lead on Maelstrom Predator. I care about this getting countered less than Esika Chariot. These sleeves are sweet. What is this artwork? Does anybody know? What is this from? Lightning bolt. Oh, interesting. Okay, so
stop that now.
Attempt to step on Teferi. Lack of Murderous Riders in our deck might be a bit of a mistake too. Could be a card I could see wanting some copies of. Bloodchief Thirst is nice because it's cheap to start, but the adventure style card is powerful. Oh, we can't play Rider with Wellspring. That's true. I guess this card's been fine so far. We can play it. You just have to give something up. This costs 7 to use all the modes on.
How long do you want to wait for a rematch?
Swing low, cat chariot. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Sorry I'm late. No time for a break.
It might have been right to use this to kill the shark last turn. Using this to kill the shark means I couldn't have charioted though. It's a great draw. Howdy, Kelvin. Prioritize exiling the planeswalkers out of their bin, so they're probably a Conqueror's Death deck. So we get to kill that.
That didn't go according to plan.
We get to mind drop them. This Inscription seems like a really sweet card in this archetype. Like a mind drop removal spell split card is kind of gas. We're just getting started with this one, Kelvin, so probably about an hour 15 or so. It's a phenomenal draw. A Shark Chariot, Shark Typhoon here. A little unfortunate. I'm gonna go ahead and draw here. See what we get. Feels bad, man. Now I wanted to draw with Castle. I think there's a good chance that like they have a sweeper or something here. So I want to just get value out of this in the short term. Have another one here. I guess we're dead to the second Shark Typhoon, huh? I think we're just gonna get second Shark Typhoons here. Third Shark Typhoon, technically. Yep. Rest, couple of robbers, Garrick. do we want to cut? Scavenging Ooze doesn't seem particularly good. Chevill seems pretty bad. Should you have drawn and hoped for instant speed removal? It cost 4 mana to draw a card. And I had 4 mana available. So after I drew, I would not have the ability to cast a removal spell. I also actually only have 1. So even if I did, pretty unlikely, most of our removal is sorcery speed. Their cantrip getting to be their win condition is just so strong. If I'm done with this in an hour, that would be 10:30. 10:30 plus another hour and a half is 11 to noon. Yeah, I could do. I'm probably gonna be able to do one more in addition to Rootstone. Yeah, I can push it back, Kelvin. Nah, you're fine. Like I said, part of the upside for people that are paying a little bit more for deck submissions now is I'm willing to work with fitting it into the schedule when they can make it work. So people can watch live.
Skip to the good part.
Wow, Teferi untapping 2 of your lands so you can hold up Saw It Coming is kind of disgusting.
Well, that didn't pan out.
I think we just do this instead of playing a removal spell into their thing. Well, I guess if they go Wrath of God, hold up counterspell next turn, I'm in trouble. I need to draw untapped land here so we can double Maelstrom Pulse. We hit it at least.
Really should have seen that coming. I'm keep up the pace.
And I think we're dead at this point. Like this is one of the types of games where like they're under no pressure. We can't. They have like these are probably 2 counter spells here. Like I have two answers, but like I would bet these are 2 Sod Comings. And like every turn this Teferi sits in play. Again, just another problem with trying to play a mid-range deck in a format like this is you just get bigger fished by things like what this opponent is playing. Yeah, we should definitely be able to fit something else in. I have to imagine that this deck's probably not going to last super long.
To move quickly.
Mid-range decks do not seem particularly playable in this format, which doesn't really surprise me. That's a pretty typical feature, let's call it, of Magic's non-rotating formats. Mid-range decks tend to suck. It's like pretty impossible for you to keep up with the various aggressive decks in the format while also not simultaneously getting big fished out of the game by people that want to play control. And, like, it's not even about being Reed Duke, right? Like, Reed Duke gets big fish just like everybody else. Sometimes you just lose.
Hurry.
Just like Reed Duke and people that play mid-range decks accept that, like, there's going to be matchups that they just die to. It's, like, how the game works. If you hit a bunch of good matchups and never run into anybody, like, the problem with mid-range decks is you can pick one thing to beat. Like, you can build your mid-range deck to beat decks like this, or you can build your mid-range decks to beat things like Feather and other aggressive decks, and then you just die when you run into whichever one you didn't build your deck to beat. I don't even think that's true, Timos. Like, the reason why those decks were good was because blue-white control didn't have tools in Modern for a long time. And, like, with the addition, like, if you go back to the era when, like, Jund was really good, it was, one, because Splinter Twin was legal and Jund was really good against Splinter Twin, and two, tools like Teferi Hero of Dominaria didn't exist yet for those bigger formats. And, like, these are the types of games where, like, I realistically should have conceded when they played the second Teferi, and then they didn't have the answer. Like, that was the point where this game was over. This game ended the turn the second Teferi came down, and I couldn't kill it on the spot. Guys, that was the point where we hit garbage time. When the board was empty except for their 5-mana Planeswalker, the game was over. Yeah, no Teferi, no Shark Typhoon, no Jace the Mind Sculptor. Like, there's so many cards that those control decks got in Modern since Jund was, like, a top-tier deck. And this is honestly, that feeling is part of why I haven't really found a deck that really speaks to me in Historic yet. Like, there's been a lot of neat things that we've done that are very novel and create some interesting games, but, like, decks like what we're playing now are the types of decks that I really play Magic and love playing, and all of these style of decks that we've played in this format so far feel terrible. I mean, a matchup like this is probably okay for us. Our deck's built in a way to beat creature decks very reasonably, so I would expect we're going to be okay here. Bearded Seahorse, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel this morning. And then, you know, the other side of that coin is our deck is built to beat aggressive decks for the most part, but here the aggressive deck has a very good start, so we might not even be able to do that here. We'll see. This Bane of Monsters might drag us kicking and screaming across the finish line. He holds back the 2/2 this turn. We put a counter on the Pelt Collector, and then we get to eliminate it and gain 3 life and draw a card. Like, maybe there's a shot. Is it that aggro and control and unfair decks are relatively so good for eternal formats that Genji decks can't reasonably force rock, paper, scissors? No, if you listen to what I just said, it's the exact opposite. These decks can force rock, paper, scissors, but these formats are so varied that forcing rock, paper, scissors isn't good enough. There's not enough of one thing inside of this format that you can... There's not enough of one thing inside of this format that you can choose to be good against just one thing and have good matchups in the format. It just doesn't work that way. Well, they're stuck on land, so maybe that could be our saving grace here. It could be right to be greedier with my life total here and get another card off of that Chevill. I think I block and then sack. It gives them Bonecrusher back, but this gives me a 4/4. And then I know this will get Twitch chat excited here, but we're only one land off. We're only one land off of getting to Slumbermound them, chat. That's pretty scary. The Thoughtseize might have been wrong. Hopefully they just attack here, I block, and then they stomp would be ideal. I think I'm supposed to not take 2 here. With this draw, I think we do this, then play a tapped land. We just give them their red source for a turn. I think staying at 5 is worth giving the red source for a turn. So, format staple, Gnottvold Slumbermound here, for those not familiar. Destroys target land and then makes us a 4/4. So I'd like to kill that land, please. Stone Raining mana screwed opponents. That's not peak Magic the Gathering, I don't know what is. And you can't say that Stone Raining a mana screwed opponent isn't Magic as Richard Garfield intended it, because Richard Garfield created the card Strip Mine, chat. So I don't want to hear it. And Sinkhole. Yeah, Sinkhole, Stone Rain, Strip Mine, like, Garfield wanted the resource variance of this game cranked up to 12. Are we done here, opponent? I get to gain life with the Scavenging Ooze.
Let's play a little game.
Crunch. Like I said, I think our Gruul matchup's probably good. This deck is built, if you queue into creature decks, our deck is likely excellent. If you don't queue into creature decks, you're probably gonna have a bad time. Alright, so this is slow. This is probably fine. Croxus seems slow. I think we trim Thoughtseizes in this matchup. I'd rather just have things that play to the board. Rest of this seems fine. Is it increasing variance if you intentionally screw your opponent? So, it is increasing variance because cards like Slumbermound and other ways that destroy lands tend to only be good when your opponent is already getting unlucky. So, at the core, these types of effects take variance and they make the effects of it feel worse. Chariot copying trolls is also sweet. I agree. And the trolls, we're not actually playing Slumbermound because it destroys lands to screw people like it did in that game. We're playing Slumbermound because it's a utility card as you go along. It's a threat that we can get out of our lands. We're playing Slumbermound because Raging Ravine isn't legal. My kingdom for a Raging Ravine. I can't decide if I want the original creature lands to come to this format via Historic Anthology, because while I would enjoy playing with Raging Ravine, playing against Celestial Colonnade sounds truly abysmal. So I think I lean on the side of, no, I don't want those. It could go either way, though. I can see it going either way. Oh, creeping tar pit. Creeping tar pit's a good creature land, chat. I love me a creepy boy. Just a creeper. Creepers. I think I'd keep this. I think if this is like a second removal spell, I'd keep this hand, but only one piece of removal. I think we play catch and release there. And this hand is excellent. We're bottoming a Braid. Bottom the Slumbermound, actually. Let's draw an untapped land. Sure, I would take those. Yeah, that cycle of lands. Fairy Conclave, Treetop Village. Whatever the other 3 unplayable ones are in that cycle. You know. And Tron lands. All right, listen. There's only one solution to your kind here. Step on Voltaic Brawler here. Tron did nothing wrong. I know a timeout request when I see one. Well, we're definitely getting Shambling Vents. I am a huge Shambling Vents fan. Shambling Vents and what's his name and I go way back. I'm blanking on it now at the moment, but Sylvan Advocate, that's the name. Hissing Quagmire's good too, but Sylvan Advocate and Shambling Vents. Paying 3 mana to attack with your 4/5 lifelink is, chef's kiss. So I think because I'm at 18, I'm gonna get a little bit greedy here and let them have a threat for a turn to try and collect some bounties. No blocks. Leave results. We're actually not dead to cleave, which is a refreshing change of pace. It's gonna be a little abrasive, I apologize. If they have second cleave, we're dead here, right? It's definitely a thing. We need to make this a 6/6. Let us be hitting for 14. Attack lets us die to Spellbreaker. No, I could abrade the cleave. We would have taken a hit, but it'd have been okay. Everything's gonna be alright. Do 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 do. I would love 3 life and to draw a card. Thank you. Oh. I'm gonna fire this up with the Oasis. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you give that creature +2/+2. I will say the Slumbermounds have overperformed. They've been quite delicious. Our deck's good against creature decks. Seems to be the theme. Hey, we beat the Adanto Vanguard deck in the best of 3, thank you very much. And then I put Disfigure in my sideboard. I feel like I want more threats that impact the board directly. Clothis doesn't seem spectacular. Honestly, I kind of just want 4 Valki. Or it's kind of gas. I wouldn't mind Vrixmatty either. Vrixmatty's another card that's pretty good against the control decks. Lets us apply pressure and also comes down early. Well, Wellspring really kind of limits the cards we can play that are good against control. Because, like, I would love to play 4-mana Chandra, for example, but we just can't. Beginning of your upkeep, if there's 1 or more counters on it, you may remove all of them and exile each non-land permanent with converted mana cost equal to or less than the number of counters on it. That's good. I can't decide if that's good or not. I feel like I want another Vrixmatty. I want to clean up some of the numbers in here to get more copies of the cards that we like. Are there any cards we can play in the board to make the control matchup better? There aren't really, right? Even Robber of the Rich isn't very good. Yeah, this effect is super slow. I agree. If I just like played more Croxa. Yeah, Croxa's a card that's like okay, that's like also decent against control. Just generically good. So like again, the cards people are listing like I have to give up Wellspring. Like Wellspring's felt good in other places. Like if I want to give up Wellspring, just like a bunch of 4-mana Chandra, it's probably the answer. Clothes is hard to answer for control. That's really not true. They have counter spells. They have 5-mana Tefreeze. Clothes is not particularly quick. Angrath is a card that we can play. Yeah, Elspeth Conquers Death. Like, they have a ton of answers to that card, and it's slow. How many red sources are we playing? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, 4-mana Chandra is really good. I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't try no Wellspring and 4-mana Chandra. Hold on, the client is bugged. Swap this. No, I clicked the done button. I didn't want to confirm a quest swap. All right, hold on. I'm going to restart the client really quick. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to Glandia. Thanks for dropping in. Back to playing Magic Arena with the release of Call Time. Some things, however, never change. Hey, look at that. Speaking of things that are actually useful, it saved the deck that we were working on. That's really nice. Yeah, do I want, what other cards am I interested in playing once I drop Wellspring? A couple of Shatterskull Smashing. I probably don't need Rixmati if I'm playing other good cards. Do I need this basic forest in my deck? Probably not. Actually, I like the suggestion of Questing Beast. It's a card that's good at closing. How many green sources do we have? 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Might be a touch hard to cast that consistently. How many black sources do we have is the question. A lot. I might be able to cut some black sources. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 black. Yeah, I could probably swap some black sources to some other sources. So I can turn, like, a Dragonskull Summit into a Blooming Marsh. I don't hate that. No, wait, that's the wrong direction. I need to cut a black source and add a green source. So we could cut a Blood Crypt for a Stomping Ground. That'll be right? That's black to green. Yeah. Yeah, we talked about Murderous Rider earlier. 13 green. I'm pretty sure that adds 15. This is 4, 8, 9. This is 14 now. Yeah, that's fine. We can play some campy counter threats to the board now. These two seem good. But a robber of the rich. And then, is Rider better than any of our current mix of removal? Chevill is actually pretty okay. I really don't like 4-mana Vraska. 4-mana Vraska is only good at converting your resources into other resources, and we already have good utility. I really don't want to be sacrificing lands in this deck, generally speaking. I'd much rather have something like Torch of Defiance that generates card advantage indiscriminately. What do we think of that? Look at that. We've cut all of the one-ofs. There are no one-ofs left in our deck. I think I'm into it. Let's try those. Inscription's actually been really impressive. I've been a fan of that card in the games we've played so far. You know, I'm gonna keep this actually. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to mulligan because I don't have second red. Nailed it. This is basically a 3-spell hand, right? I guess it's worth noting with this land drop here, I can't go Rootbound Crag Chandra next turn. 5-mana Chandra is much worse than 4-mana Chandra.
I know I'm on track.
Much worse.
It's over when I say it's over.
The fact that this can cleanly answer cards on the board is a big deal, and the fact that it generates card advantage without having to lose your hand is a big deal. Yeah, your opponent looks to be playing big red.
It's my turn. Feel the burn. Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Their hand must just be like a bunch of Ugins, right? I think they have like Anger of the Gods here. This can be a 4/4 though, so God bless.
my lucky day.
Let's find out, huh? Bunch of bad cards, got it. He says before his opponent ramps into Ugin and kills him. Since I called their hand a bunch of bad cards, they're guaranteed to draw Ugin next turn, right? That's how this works? These are all cards that I think I could possibly want. I definitely don't want Inscription of Ruin. I don't want Chevill. Chandra's probably a little bit slow. Scavenging Ooze probably isn't very good, right? Like, it was an okay threat there, but, like, I have much better threats overall. Bonecrusher Giant, I think, is actually pretty reasonable here because it finishes their Chandras after they downtick for the first time. Breed's probably not good enough. Yeah, I agree. The Companion was useful at different points in the other games that we played, but this card is just so powerful. Just very, very good. And getting to play other just good cards like Questing Beasts and stuff is good too. We've played like green-black mid-range decks and Pioneer a couple of times, and Questing Beasts is always impressive there. This is, you know, talking about struggling against control with this archetype. Like, both of these things are just generically good cards, like also happen to be fine against control. Yeah, I'm gonna do one more after this, Kelvin. So you got at least 2 hours till your deck. Playing good cards is good. You know, I know it sounds pedantic when you say it, but like in reality, it really works out that way a lot of the time. We're just like, come on, just put more good cards in your deck. Stop it. Put more good cards in your deck. Gosh, am I actually taking a Robber of the Rich here? I don't have a removal spell for this, right? The Robber could literally run away with the game. And I think we're probably taking their Chandra. And see, I'm in tune with my Thoughtseizes, so I knew that the top card of their deck was another Magemind Tome. And that's why we didn't take that one. Okay, so I think we want to get Chandra going here because they're going to play a big threat next turn, and I want to have multiple shots to grab a removal spell for it.
You and I are going to take them out. This'll be easy.
Skillfully milled the land there. Love to see it.
Figure it out on your own.
I'm gonna draw Thoughtseize here and be sad.
Tough guy? Oh, today's my lucky day.
I don't think it's right to shock the land in blind though. We get to Valki next turn, which is sick. Yeah, Chandra's also good with. It's possible that we should have 4 of this in here since we added Chandra. Because, like, Chandra enabling this is really strong.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
I am Vault. Go, and away you go.
Always consider the consequences. Ignore
Catch me if you can.
draconic talents.
Come on, Chandra. Tap the deck here.
Yup.
Damn it.
You're going down.
So we're dead. I think we're dead. Our deck is very bad against Ugin surviving, believe it or not. We have a lot of Ugin answers post-board too. We have 3 Pulse, 2 Rider, 4 Bloodchief's Thirst. Yeah, I'm aware Golos is colorless, chat, but the Ugin killing our Chandra leaves the Ugin in play still.
I came into being long before your kind ever existed.
The Gunner's Dream, thank you for the 23 months. It's good to be back.
That's it.
Really? That's so greedy? Holy crap.
My greatest creation.
This'll be easy.
Ooh, there's the punish. You love to see it, chat.
Proceed in my stead, Planeswalker.
Definitely should have exiled my Chandra. Chandra the Mind Sculptor, don't screw around, chat. Yeah, either Ugin could have killed her. The fact that, like, they didn't kill her, or do they draw a Shatterskull Smashing? They'll kill Golos and Chandra here. I wonder if they'll, yeah, like if they wanted to set the other Ugin up to ultimate, they should have down-ticked in the Ineffable, at least. I guess that couldn't set the other one to ultimate, because then Golos attacks it. Yeah, I don't know, their whole line was just greedy. They should have just interacted with my board. They should have minus 4'd the big one. Almost assuredly what should happen. Leaving Chandra in play worked out really well for them last turn, so.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Cycle this to start and see where we get. Do I want to pay 3 life to draw a card? Probably. I could also just play this as a 2/3 and play this as a tap land. That could be good too. Yeah, I'm kind of into drawing too. I think I'm just passing here. Are they finally going to kill Chandra Torch of Defiance? This thing generated them like 6 mana this turn, huh?
My plan.
Guess you don't need me anymore.
Chariot copies the trolls, chat. The trolls crew the chariot, and the chariot copies the trolls. No, it copies tokens. Yeah, the fact that we didn't kill Golos is a big deal, though. We have a ton of card draw left over. We're definitely still behind. We might be able to get out of this by being aggressive. This Ceratops in our hand with haste is pretty good. So I get to attack for 12-17 next turn, theoretically. We'll see what we draw. If I could play this and have these two crew this, and then give this haste. They did spin Golos wheel this turn. This was the first opportunity they had to activate this, and they did it. Soko, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. It might have been wrong to Thoughtseize last turn. I think I was probably supposed to play Murderous Rider last turn instead of Thoughtseizing. McLovin, good morning. If some kind of utility land they're debating on getting. Yeah, I think they just want Faceless Haven. Yeah, the Havens are scary on the backswing. You're not wrong. How about another land? Dino cannot have Vigilance. It has Trample, Haste, and Reach. Yeah, we're gonna need some bricks out of them for sure. They also have like 8 life gains sitting on the board. We are definitely not beating a second big Ugin from this point. So if they hit that, and they have just like so many looks, right? They get Scries, they get Golos spins. So we're a pretty big dog from here for certain. All to the bottom, you love to see it. Blue Mythos is a card we've poked at in Standard with Inks's Chariot. It's a little slow and fair for that format, though. Yeah, they flipped the Ugin here. Think I want to breed? Do I? don't think so. I think we were only in that game as long as we were in it to begin with because our opponent used their planeswalkers poorly earlier in the game. If they would have given Chandra Torch of Defiance the respect she deserved, we wouldn't have been able to hold on as long as we did there. Opponent definitely gave us room to try and wiggle out of their powerful draw. Slough puts Castle into play untapped because it's a swamp. We'll be able to double Duress on 2. No Robber of the Rich is good for us. So... How do I feel about just, like, tapped lands here? I think I'm into it. I think I want to give them a draw step or 2 before I Duress them again. They don't really have anything super terrifying in their hand. And now I think I do Duress this turn because if I draw, I have a lot of good 4-mana cards I could draw next turn. So, like, if I draw a good 4-mana card next turn, I'm going to want to play that instead of Duressing again. I'm going to take the Soul Seer because it kills the Chandra when she goes up to 5. Nice, Time Lord. That's great to hear. Ow. That's true. That's true. It was at least double Duress and not double Thoughtseize. Ow. I don't know that I can afford to Thoughtseize here.
Yup, you want to play with fire, huh? Oh, today's my lucky day.
We died, chat.
I am out of here. Hey, over here.
You know, maybe we're supposed to keep Skoos in our deck just to be able to gain life a little bit. The little bit of life Skoos gained us in game 1 was pretty relevant. Hey, Mr. Sin. Mr. Sir N. Thank you for the 3/4 of a year. Good morning, good morning. Don't step on me. Don't do it. Our deck is playing 27 lands, chat. Yeah, I'm gonna be done with this one. Midrange. Midrange decks continue to feel mediocre in this format. Whether it's Teferi control or big Ugin control or any just like, there's just so many things that go up over the top of what, yeah, 25 plus 2 smashings, that go over the top of what you're doing. And while I think Questing Beast and Chandra almost assuredly give us a little bit better game in those matchups where people are going long, I don't think it's enough on average. Yeah. We did a deck vote today. This was the deck people voted for. So, in fact, the other deck that we did voting, I'm gonna end up doing both of them actually. So let's